Hello, welcome to another Great Unexplained Debate. I'm Carl Beattie, your host for the next hour, and I have three very, very beautiful paranormal investigators. That's not sexist, by the way, I'm just saying there are three very beautiful paranormal investigators here. With me to my left, I have to work out which my right or left is, my port side, is Hazel Ford.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well,
welcome back. Thank you for coming back.
It's my pleasure.
Did you like the last one?
I really enjoyed it, actually.
I know you run Haunted Happenings.
I do.
And we've got one of your cohorts at the other end, which we'll see in a minute. How's things going?
Very well. Really
Good.
enjoying this.
Well,
it's nice to be able to sort of present our company in this way as well.
Good.
Really healthy.
Well, we've got... See, I can't get your name out. I've tried so hard every time. I got it last time, I got it fine.
Yeah,
Natasha Keeley-Lewin.
Yes.
It's the Kylie thing. It's the Keeley and the Kylie. Yeah. And I know it's not Kylie, it's Keeley. Sorry, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm fine, yeah, not too bad.
How's things going with you?
Yeah, it's going really well at the moment. It's
yeah,
got a
busy?
Yeah, very busy. Yeah, don't even coming or going.
Oh, no, that feels. And Michaela Garn, see, I got that right?
Yes.
I got that wrong. I'm chuffed with myself. I got that right. I'm not going to bring attention to it, but oh, I have. You know, you're an event host for Haunted.
That's right. Yes,
Haunted
I am. Yeah.
Are things going busy?
Fantastically busy at the moment.
So do you and Hazel work together a lot, or do you do things separately, or
both?
Yeah,
both.
Occasionally we work together. Mostly we do separate events, don't we?
Kyle also works in our office.
Oh,
so
right.
she does a lot of admin stuff for us as well.
Oh, crumbs, so you get all the boring stuff as well as the good stuff.
I don't know, it's quite exciting. No one day's the same, is
Exactly.
it? Yeah. Won't go into that.
No Groundhog Days. Now, Michaela, can you just tell it, because obviously you're new, this is your first time on the show, I'll ask everyone in turn, but what's your belief system as far as the paranormal's concerned? Mainly ghosts, but, you know, do the whole broad spectrum of UFOs and...
I would say when I started out doing this, I was probably 98% sceptical. And as the events have gone on, I normally say now I'm probably about 80% sceptical. Things have happened to me.
Because of stuff you've seen and experienced?
Yeah, loads of stuff's happened that I can't explain. You go home the next morning and try and analyse it, but it's not always possible. So I'd say I'm still healthily sceptical, but on the whole, no. No. It's difficult sometimes. Sometimes when you've been to an event, you go home the next day, it's very hard to analyse it. Well,
that's one of the problems that it's funny with lots of people who've been on the show, when you kind of, and we all do it, I think, we're all after something, we're all trying to find this elusive proof, and sometimes when it's staring you in the face, you'll have, that's proof, I know it's proof, and then the next morning you think, oh, was it? And that's kind of, the morning after is always the worst. They come anyway. Yeah. Natasha, just for anyone who's tuning in for the first time, what's your belief system?
I do completely believe, but I am very rational. I'm usually first in the little group that I'm in, say, well, it could have been this, it could have been that. I think, you know, if it is proven, I want to be proven properly, not because it's just, you know, like it's a bit central eating or whatever. I mean, if I see a ghost, I want it to be tested properly and look for every other explanation.
So you don't want much then?
No. Yeah, you know, I'm a woman.
Hazel, what's your belief system?
I think I believe what I see and what I hear and what I feel, and I put my own controls in place to find out what it was that I saw, heard and felt. And I also try and instill that in others as well. I think it's what you feel, what's going on for you that's important. You know, it doesn't have to be a collective thing. It can be something that's personal to you. So if I saw something, I wouldn't expect you to believe me, but I would know whether I thought that was real or not.
But this is the whole thing with a lot of the hauntings. I mean, we've been through this before with conversations where, I firmly believe that any experience in the paranormal, whether you're sceptical and become a believer, is a personal experience. And no matter how much you recount that, how truthfully you recount that you can never give somebody else your real experience. Only you know what's real. I mean, we've had it before when someone will say, "Oh, somebody touched my arm," and you'll get the skeptic straight away. Will say, "Well, it was a nerve. It was a muscle movement." But you know when something's grabbed your arm, and you know when it's a muscle movement. I remember we did ghost hunting when we did Girls Aloud. Yeah. And one of the girls, she was very sceptical to start with, quite openly sceptical, sort of bordering on the complete cynical, I guess, but wanted some sort of proof, I guess. And she was standing there in one of the rooms, and it's one of the bits that's been shown time and time again. She moves her arm really quickly and cries because she's convinced something grabbed her arm. And that to her was that sort of almost, that was the hurdle she had got over to believe. And for the rest of the night, stuff was happening. And it's almost this, when you've got this barrier of disbelief, nothing will touch you. It's almost like this protective wall you've got around you. And then, because stuff was happening, she would walk down one corridor and the stones were coming from the other end. And she went there and said, right, I need to find out to see if anyone's hiding there. Yeah. And there was no one there.
It's interesting because I always, when I'm doing playback, if I watch Most Haunted or I watch anything to do with paranormal investigations, and I always look for the reaction before something happens. I always look to see if they've looked behind them first or anything. I mean, that's the cynical side of me. But when I do see those sort of reflex things...
The initial... we've had it, I mean, again, going down the medium side, I mean, there's one... wild investigation we did at Pendle Hill, and you can clearly see the psychic before, the alleged psychic, I should say, before he falls off the back of his chair.
Yeah,
he looks behind to make sure it was okay, there was nothing he was going to hurt himself.
I watched that.
Allegedly, well, that's what I believe anyway, he was doing. But and that's the thing that makes it, if something was going to pull you off your chair, something would just pull you off your chair, you wouldn't be
looking for safety.
I mean, in their defence, their argument to that was they thought something was behind, so they had a look to see who was there, which... you can believe that what you like. But one of the things I want to talk about, because we've had some emails in, and it's about paranormal investigations in general and events companies. And I know you guys work with your own events company. You run the events company, and this is a point where people, and I get asked this a lot: is it right to make money out of paranormal investigations? And you know, it's something I'd like to throw out there, because obviously we've got the completely different ends of the sphere. Okay. You aren't an events company. You are a privately run investigative group that is just solely there to try and find paranormal activity and you know, to investigate what people have said. And you guys have got this you know, a business where you hopefully make some money out of the end of that. What's your point? I have my view on it, and I think.
Shall I start?
Yeah, you start,
and then you can add on to it. Basically, it is about making money. It's about running a business, and Most Haunted has obviously fueled a lot of inquisitiveness. It's fueled a lot of people's beliefs and wanting to test it out. I started the company because of Most Haunted. I wanted to be doing what you guys were doing, but I knew I had no chance of joining your group, so I had to find a way. Exactly. So I had to go and find a way of doing it myself, which is how it started. It didn't start to make money, but it was something we were good at. And also, you have to pay a fortune for the locations, so you have to sell the places in order to hire the locations. Now, obviously, I'm going to be selling those at a profit to pay ourselves and also to hire new locations and better locations, and we're going to some fantastic places, but they cost an absolute fortune. So, you know, with Natasha, I mean, we've been talking earlier, and there's lots of places I think you'd like to investigate, but she can't afford to do it. And one thing that we have really taken on board with Haunted Happenings is that there are a lot of paranormal investigation groups like Natasha's that want to do locations that we do. So we're putting those together into those locations and paying for the location for them and not taking any profit, so that they actually do get to do it without members of the public.
Yeah, I have to say that I know that there are lots of paranormal investigative groups out there. It's the wrong word to use. There are lots of people calling themselves paranormal investigative groups out there. And I think that it's almost the same as the medium thing, that I think, you know, the majority of them are a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing. And I know this is something that really annoys you, Natasha, because it's something that impacts on everything, but it also impacts on the bigger business. You know, you've got to, because you are still an investigative group, although you're an events company, you're giving people the idea, the possibility of coming to see these things. And we're going to come back to this in just a second because we've got to go for a break. Join us in a couple of minutes.